What's up, my fellow gamers? It's AviticusDragon here with Arma 3, and this is episode 1 of my tutorial on how to use the Arma 3 editor. I really like playing the editor, or playing with the editor. It's amazing. You can do all kinds of different things with it. And so I'm going to show you some basics of some of the things that I know. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually really it's pretty easy. When you try to do some advanced scripting, that's when it starts to get a little bit difficult. But for the most part, the way they've made the editor, it makes sense. All right, it's made in a way to make sense for pretty much anyone, really. So let's check it out. So right now they only have Stratus as the map. I don't know if there's going to be other islands or not, but that's all we have right now. A lot of this is in alpha, so there's not going to be a lot of things like helicopters and so forth. So just using the mouse wheel, you can see you can zoom in and out. And you hold down the right mouse button to move the map around. All right. And so yeah, there's different locations here, so you can build whatever you want to build in this, which is amazing. You can come up anything that you want to come up with, you can do it. You just have to have the patience and figure out the scripting methods to do it. So I'm going to start off with some basic stuff, and then we're going to check it out and see how it looks. So let's just come in onto this road here, and let's say we want to let's just make a person. And so let me just start off with the basics. So we have this person selected here at the top left, and this is for groups of people. So we're going to select this option and just double click on the location. All right, now this is an insert unit. So we're going to pick the side of the unit that we want it to be. So you can choose different things. If it's going to be a civilian, choose civilian. If it's going to be, you know, Blue 4 or Op 4. Op 4 is the other side of the, you know, good and bad, basically. So you can pick one side, whoever you want to be good, whoever you want to be bad. Independent isn't actually in the game yet, so you can't really add troops for them. So let's see. All right, so we're going to pick Blue 4. All right, so that's our side. Faction is blue. We can't change that. Now class, we're going to do min. Okay, you can see we can do different things here. We could do air. Holy shit, you can actually do helicopters. I didn't know that. Oh, well, I must have missed that. All right, well, we'll do that later. But right now we're going to do a man. And this is where, under unit, this is where you can select what kind of unit they are. So I don't know if this list is, again, I don't know if this is complete, but so let's say we want to do marksman. All right, so we have our unit there. And we're not going to put him in formation. We're just going to put special as none for right now. And control is going to be non-playable. Okay, this is important if you want it to be a non-playable character. Now, if you want to be you want to play that character, then you're going to select player. But there can only be one player in the map, so you're only going to be one unit. Unless you're doing playable, which I guess this is multiplayer. I'm not really sure how that works. So this is just single player campaigns only that I'm working with. So vehicle lock, we're not going to do that. We're just going to click default. This means if a vehicle is locked or not. So if you had a car, you would select locked if you don't want the anybody to be able to get in it, if you just want scenery for cars. All right, so we're going to leave it default. And then this is where you can select the rank of the unit. So we can make them a colonel, a captain, whatever we want them to be. Let's just say they're a private for right now. And age is how old the info is, whether or not the unit is still going to be at that location that you set them upon. So if, like, you set them on a route to patrol a certain area, they may not be at that exact location at the beginning of the game. I think that's what that means, but I might have to go back and look at that again. All right, so over here you can add a name. So we're gonna you don't really have to do this unless you're gonna make some initialization scripts where you need to actually call the name of the character. But right now we're just going to put, just for the sake of it, we're gonna just put Soldier 1. And always put no spaces. You always want to keep everything together. So if you're gonna do a name for something, it's got to be all one word. So we're just going to put Soldier 1. All right, and down here you can change different things. You can change their skill level. So if you want this unit to be like super badass, you can make them skill level high. And for cars, you can give it certain fuel, certain ammunition. So you can determine how much it starts out with. You can also determine how much health the person has. And the probability of presence, meaning that if you did 50%, it would have a 50% chance that that unit would appear at the start of the game. So you can do a lot of scripting with probability of presence if you want to, but that's way later on. So condition of presence, we're just gonna leave it true, obviously, and placement radius. We're not gonna really mess with that. So yeah, this looks good. So we're just gonna click OK. No player was selected. Big deal. We don't give a shit. Okay, so we have our marksman Soldier 1 right here. Now notice that he's facing to the north. Okay. Now, let's say you want to have him face to the southwest, down the road. So you're just going to double click on the unit, and you're going to change his position to be southwest. All right, so you can see that we just changed his position to look the other way. Now, let's say I want to add myself into the game so that we can check this out. So first of all, let me save this. I'm going to save this as... let's see, YouTube test, YouTube tutorial 1. Okay, now, all right, so we're going to double click again, and this time I'm going to be blue 4 as well. If I put myself as the other side of this team, then blue 4, the units on blue 4 are going to shoot the op 4 team. So you always want to, if you're testing something, always make yourself the same faction that you want to look at. So right now, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. I'll just make myself a grenader. But control is player, so that's me. Everything else doesn't matter, so I'm just going to click OK. Now, because I'm the player, it's automatically assigning this soldier to me. So if you want to unlink a soldier from yourself, you would just click the group people and just drag. So you can see I can attach myself to this unit if I want to. I can attach this unit to other units if I had them. So if you don't want this unit attached to me or under my command, you're going to just unlink him from yourself. Okay? Now I want to have myself face this way so that I'm facing him. Now if I want to actually move my unit, I have to go back to the person option and then then I can move him closer together. Okay? All right, so that's what we've got right now. We've got myself and one soldier. So let's preview this. And previewing takes less time the less things that you have in the world. The more objects, the more scripting, the more anything you add, the longer it's going to take to load. Alright, so here's our soldier, and we also had him start wounded, so this is what he looks like. And we're on the coast. And he's just chilling out there, not doing anything. And I just killed him. All right. So that's how we test it. So you just hit escape, and we're going to hit suspend. And that takes us back to the editor. All right, so now we've just tested our first scenario. All right, so let's say I want to have this soldier walk along a path. Let's say I want him to patrol up to this let's say let's say I want to have him patrol up to this shed, okay? All right, so you have him selected. What you're going to do is select the footprints over here on the left-hand side. This is basically waypoints, okay? Now, it's important that you highlight the correct unit before you double-click on the atmosphere or in the world or on the land. So I'm going to select Marksman Soldier 1, and then I'm going to just double-click anywhere. Doesn't matter where at this point. And this says Insert Waypoint, okay? So we have a ton of different selection types. Move, destroy, get in, seek and destroy, join and lead, get out, cycle, load, unload, transport, unload. All of these have a purpose, but it depends on how you use them. So, different things do different things, and you have to test them out. A lot of it is testing, all right? Because I've used this a lot, I kind of know what most of these do. But so let's say we're going to start off with a move command. All right, so our first command is going to be move. You don't really have to fool around with any of this placement and timeout stuff, so just ignore it. Over here, you can change the combat mode if you want to. You can change their speed if you want them to, go full limited and whatnot, and their behavior. So let's say we're just going to leave it default, all right? And you can see that this soldier is connected to this waypoint. So this soldier is going to move to this shed over here. So let's preview this. All right, and you can see him running, and he just ran to the shed. And because he doesn't have any other commands, he's just going to stand there. And that's what he's going to do. Now, if he becomes under attack, he will fight back. But that's just a basic move command. Now, let's say we wanted him to wait 20 seconds and then move. So this is where the timeout feature comes into play. So by setting 20, 20, and 20, he's going to wait 20 seconds and then move. All right, so let's preview that. Okay, he didn't wait. Shit. What the hell did I do there? Let's see, 20. Oh, I see what I did. So it takes some trial and error to get this, but here's what you need to do. If you're going to have the person wait before they move to a waypoint, you have to create 2 waypoints. So the first waypoint, you're just going to leave it 0, whatever, and you're going to move it on top of the unit. Or let's say we just move it right in front of them on the road. But then I'm going to create another waypoint, and this time I'm going to set it to 20, 20, and 20. So what happens is he's going to move to this waypoint, and then he's going to wait 20 seconds, and then go to this waypoint. So let's try that. See if that works. Just when you think you know this editor, it surprises you, but once you get it, it's really cool. Alright, fucking A. What the hell? I am totally messing this up. Why am I... Maybe I do need to set 20 and 20 on here. And set this one at 0. Let's try that. It's one of the two. I keep, sometimes you forget which waypoint you have to edit. So it's just going to take some trial and error. Once you get it, though. There we go. Okay. So you create a waypoint, and then you position it. You could position it on top of them or whatever, and set it for 20 seconds or whatever, how long you want. And then you can have him move to the next waypoint after that time has passed. Okay? So now he's moved after 20 seconds to the next waypoint. So that's some basic moving. But let's do something a little bit more creative. Okay? That's some basic stuff. I'm going to delete these waypoints. I'm going to give... let's say we had... I'm going to delete him. Let's say we had a squad of people, okay? So if you're going to create a squad, you're going to just select the people icon over on the left-hand side of the toolbar and click, double-click. And you can change what they are. Support infantry, whatever. And then click OK. And that's going to automatically assign a certain amount of people. Now you can see I can disconnect these units and individually place them if I want to. If I want to place this guy, you know, down here, you have to be careful that these guys are unlinked. But if you wanted to create a scenario like two guards are talking, you know, you could come over here and position these people kind of facing each other like this. And what you could do is set a guard command. So you would highlight one of them and then move and select guard. And then do that for the next one. And so what guard does is basically if anybody comes in within the vicinity of them, they will defend themselves and attack. But they'll also, yeah, that's pretty much what it means. Sentry is kind of similar, but, you know, I'm not really exactly sure what the difference is. You have to look it up, but yeah, you could position them that way if you want to. But let's say I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, let's say this squad, I'm gonna link them to the team leader. All right, so they're all gonna follow the team leader. And let's say this squad is on patrol. Actually, let's say this squad is reinforcements. So this is how you can create something pretty epic, all right? Okay, we've got this squad here. And what I'm going to do is create a waypoint for them, which is going to be right here on the road. And I'm going to let them move there. Now, now let's say I'm gonna create another move option down here. So right now I want them to move here and then down here. But let's say I don't want them to move right away. Let's say I want them to stay positioned on this road for right now. And if something happens, like maybe an alarm triggering, then I want them to move to this location. So you could create a scenario where, like, if you trip an alarm, reinforcements will come. And this could be helicopters, this could be soldiers or vehicles, whatever you want. So let's create that scenario. So what I'm going to do is use a trigger, and that's with the flag. Okay, and we're going to double click on anywhere. And this is where you select what it is, ellipse or a rectangle. I like rectangles, but it depends on what you're doing. And so we're going to leave the size the same for right now. But what I'm going to do is select activation. And I'm going to do op4. Okay, op4 is the red team, basically. And so they're the enemy for the blue team. And what I'm going to do is say that that op4 on activation, op4 is present. Okay, if op4 is present at that location, then what we're going to do is trigger an alarm. So we can go in here and trigger all these different things. You can trigger anything, really. Let's say we want an alarm, and yeah, we'll just leave the alarm for right now. But there's all kinds of other shit you can do. You can even put text. Alarm is sounding. Let's try that. So we have the trigger alarm and then the text alarm is sounding. Or alarm sounds. Okay. So we have our trigger. We're going to leave that the way it is and click OK. So this is a trigger. And you can see that it's selected in this entire range. That is too big for us. We don't want it that big. So let's reduce the size to about 15. Okay. Now, let's say that let's say that I'm trying to get this in a good position. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put this trigger up here. I'm just going to do 5. And perfect, right on the road. Okay. Now, I'm going to move my soldier up here. And actually, I'm going to delete him. What the hell? Get rid of him. Okay, now what you're going to do is you have your trigger. You're going to link the trigger by the linking command, which is this one, to the move option. So you're going to take this move point down here and you're going to link it to the trigger. And that should keep them from going to the second, I think it should. Let me recreate myself here. This usually takes a minute to figure out, but let's try this. Alright, so they're moving to the first waypoint. And those bitches are moving all the way down to the waypoint. Fuck. Alright, so I didn't do it right. Let me think. I may have to actually link both triggers. I may have to link both of them. Let's try that. Perfect. You can see that they moved and they're holding. Okay? So now they're holding right there at that spot until an alarm sounds. The way the alarm sounds is by a trigger. And this is by walking onto it, basically. So let's say you had a base like, I don't know. Well, let's just say this is a base right here. I'm going to move this down. Let's say this area is a base, and you want reinforcements to actually move to the front. These are reinforcements from down here. Actually, I'm going to move them down there a little bit. Okay. All right. So now, this is for the triggers for op4. I am blue 4. So what I need to do is delete my character, create a new one, and make him op4. Because remember, we said detection on op4. Okay. Activation is op4 and present. So that's what is going to trigger the alarm and the text that says alarm sound. So we're going to see how that works here. All right, so I know where the trigger is for the most part. Kind of in a bad spot here to actually show this, but I'm going to try to go around the trigger. And okay, so we can see here that those soldiers are holding steady right there. All right, now watch what happens when you step over the trigger. Alarm sounds. See that? See the text? Alright. Alarm is sounding. Now, let's see where the, see what these guys are doing. See? There they go. They're coming at me. So they heard the alarm, and they are reinforcing that area based on the trigger that we just made. And you can also change this. You don't have to make it a move command. You can make it a guard command if you want. Or destroy. Or seek and destroy. Which is probably a good one. If you want to... Seek and destroy is probably best. Because that's... if you're having units come in for reinforcements because they hear an alarm sound, search and destroy is probably a good one. So that's a basic trigger that you can create. You can also have music. You can have music start playing. So like if you are about to go into battle, let's say you're coming up on a base somewhere, you know, you could create a you could deploy a trigger here that has, let's say, action dark, whatever. And we can make this like 200 by 200. Or actually, 10 by 200. And you can do 300 by 10, and then you're gonna do opt for present or whatever, whatever it is that you want. Detected by means that if you're detected, basically, then that trigger starts to happen. Present means that you actually have to physically be on the space for it to go off. So there's some cases where you're going to want to do detected by instead of present or not present. So for this, we're going to do opt for type. We don't care. And yeah, so I made a trigger, like a square here. Let's say if I come in range of this area, and then what I could do is I can copy this and paste it. Ah, shit, I don't think I can paste. Huh, thought I could copy and paste, but anyway, you can make another one. 10 by 300. And you can make squares, kind of like a range of spaces. So if this person came anywhere near this base, the Stratus Air Base, the music would start sounding. So if I position my character close to that, oh shit, where am I? Totally looking the wrong way. Oh, there we go. Alright. So then if I run towards it, actually, I'm getting kind of close to... I wonder if the music's not incorporated yet. Oh, see, I didn't set an activation. Alright, let's try that again. Interesting. Wonder why it's not doing that. Let's see. Present. Opt for. No music. What the fuck? There we go. Why the hell did that not work? I must have done it for the other one and not that one. So there's a lot of things you can forget, obviously. There you go. See that? So now the music starts. So when you're starting to get to a base, you can set the music to turn on, and then go raid that fucker. So you can get things pumping that way. So those are cool to do. I love that. Music's so awesome. And yeah, so that's some basic stuff. I'm going to be doing quite a few of these tutorials because I think it's a lot of fun, and it's helping me get back into doing the editor. I've done so many great things with this back with Operation Flashpoint. I mean, you can have scenarios where you have people jump out of helicopters. You know, you can change the intel and change the time of day. So let's say we want it in, let's say we want it 1 in the morning. And you can have some fog, what's forecasted, whatever the hell you want. And then you can preview this bad boy. And it's nighttime. So then you're forced to use the night vision. Wow, I just noticed that looking through the scope is really difficult at night. But yeah, so you can change that around if you want. So that's cool. So there's a lot of things you can do, and it's fairly simple. There's a couple other things in here, like modules. I'm not going to get into that yet. You can also add markers, so if you want to add a marker on the actual game map, we could say military base. So let's just put in base, and then put military base. And you can change what color it is, what the icon looks like. So let's say warning. Okay, we've got a warning here that says military base. All right. So now if you're going into the game, these are the icons that are going to display on your map. So you can see military base right here. So if you want a scenario where you want to pinpoint different things on the map, if you want to create a briefing, you can do all of those things. And if you're deleting something, you have to actually move your cursor over it and press the delete key. If I press the delete key just right now, it's not going to do anything. But if I hover over this icon, the embase, and hit delete, it's gone. So it's kind of a safety measure, which is pretty cool. So I'm not going to get into any of the other things right yet, but there's a lot of functionality that is missing that I'm sure is going to be in the beta and in the final. But for scripting and advanced commands, we'll probably get into that a little later. I'm still brushing up on it myself, and depending on the scenario, depending on what you're trying to do, is going to determine the scripting, and you may have to look up the commands for that. So there's a lot of helpful places to go for that sort of thing, so I won't tell you where to go, but you know, you can look up any sort of commands for Arma or Operation Flashpoint, and they'll come up for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful on some basic scripting and some basic editor fooling around, you know, just fooling around with the editor. And if you're new to it, if there's something you want to see, post in the comments below. I'll see if I can do it. There's a lot of advanced things that I'm not able to do yet. That does take a certain amount of skill if you want to do some really crazy advanced stuff. But for basic things, I can do them. And if there's something you want to see, I'd be happy to make a video for it. So just let me know in the comments. And also let me know if this is helpful to you if you want to see more of these. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.